Food activists plan to protest outside Monsanto's shareholder meeting in the US on Thursday, calling on the $13.5 billion agricultural biotechnology company to be more transparent. Well, the company is accused of seed contamination through genetic modification. Well, we're joined live now by Adam Eidinger, Monsanto's shareholder, to learn a little bit more about this and the situation around the company. Thanks for joining us here on RT. Now, as you said, you're a shareholder, so presumably interested in the company making a profit, but you're planning to speak on behalf of the company, which submitted the study on potential risks of these products. Why are you doing that?
Well, the resolution we had would have required a report to be written that could be shared with researchers and scientists across the globe about the risks that they know, the company knows already about their genetically modified crops, which many safe food activists believe make us more reliant on herbicides and chemicals that the company also sells. And these chemicals may be what's causing higher rates of cancer in industrialized nations across the globe. We know they've caused tumors in rats that were fed in long-term food studies last year. The Dr. Cerulini's study was a topic during the shareholder meeting. I brought it up. I was able to speak during the meeting. And this meeting is closed to the public, as you said. And one of the things that we're asking for is in the future this be live streamed. People around the world care about what's going into the food, and they may not want to own Monsanto stock. I only bought the stock so I could speak at the shareholder meeting.
Now, we understand the Chinese Economist has criticized Monsanto for controlling the country's soybean market and trying to do the same with corn and cotton in the country. How is that impacting local farmers, perhaps?
Well, it devastates local farmers time and time again. We've seen in countries where Monsanto has introduced patented technologies, they like to call it, and they only provide hybrid seeds to farmers who then lose biodiversity, lose varieties that had actually adapted to that area. What we need on this planet is better distribution of food, and we need better organic methods to be shared with farmers, not more reliance on chemicals, on pesticides. And now, as what was quite alarming at the shareholder meeting, are these new RNA technologies where they're going to be modifying insects and viruses and introducing these novel viruses into the environment to handle pests, to kill pests. And we wonder why our bee populations around the world are plummeting. It's because of these chemicals and possibly because of this new technology.
And in 2009, Monsanto was accused by the US Justice Department of breaking antitrust rules. But in 2012, the inquiry was closed without taking any enforcement action. Why did that happen, do you think?
Oh, I think Monsanto is the perfect example of regulatory capture, where an industry captures the levers of government, levers of our democracy that are supposed to protect us from companies that would profit over our health being impacted in a really negative way. I mean, we have people that may be allergic to these crops or the chemicals that are used, sprayed on them, and they're trying to avoid them. And in America, they have no right to know if the food has been genetically modified or not. And that's something that I brought up as well at the meeting, is that the company should get behind efforts. If you want to be transparent, you ought to label the food. So yes, you have people in the FDA like Michael Taylor, who is the head of food safety, who also was a vice president at Monsanto for a decade, and prior to that worked at the FDA as well. So it's a revolving door. He was at the FDA, went and worked at Monsanto, now he's back at the FDA. It's clear that Secretary Clinton, in the last year at the Secretary of State, she emphasized getting these hybrid seeds into Africa. And there's no proof that this is really going to help African farmers. I think quite to the contrary, they're going to become dependent on buying their seeds from the United States when they should be able to save their seed and develop their own varieties in Africa.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Adam Eidinger, live from St. Louis in USA. Thank you.